Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. From chip to ship, Prime Minister Modi pushes Make in India and vocal for local resolve at Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show 2025. Adds India steadfast to be developed by 2047 despite all geopolitical disruptions. India successfully test fires intermediate-range Agni Prime missile from a rail-based mobile launcher system, joins select nations capable of using canisterized launch system from on-the-move rail network. Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov says Europe-Ukraine prolonging conflict in a meeting with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the UNGA sidelines. Rubio reiterates Moscow must take meaningful steps towards a durable resolution. And in sports, India storms into Asia Cup final unbeaten. Defending champions will face the winner of Thursday's clash between Bangladesh and Pakistan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the third edition of the Uttar Pradesh International Trade Show 2025 in Greater Noida today. In his address, Prime Minister Modi welcomed over 2,200 exhibitors at the show and expressed happiness over their participation. Prime Minister Modi said self-reliance is an important aspect in this changing world and a country like India should not be dependent on anybody.
पर निर्भर होने से ज्यादा व्यवस्था कोई और हो ही नहीं सकती। बदलती हुई दुनिया में जो देश जितना ज्यादा दूसरों पर निर्भर रहेगा, उसकी ग्रोथ उतनी ही कॉम्प्रोमाइज रहने वाली है। और इसलिए भारत जैसे देश को किसी पर निर्भर रहना अब मंजूर नहीं है। इसलिए भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना ही होगा। हर वो प्रोडक्ट जो हम भारत में बना सकते हैं, वो हमें भारत में ही बनाना है।
Prime Minister Modi further highlighted that the world is recognizing India's fintech system, which is driving inclusive development through its platform for all, progress for all approach.
आज विश्व में हमारे फिनटेक सेक्टर की बहुत चर्चा है। इस फिनटेक सेक्टर की सबसे खास बात है कि इसने समावेशी विकास को, इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट को बहुत ताकत दी है, बढ़ावा दिया है। भारत ने ऐसे ओपन प्लेटफॉर्म बनाए जो सबको साथ लेकर चलते हैं। यूपीआई, आधार, डिजी लॉकर, ओएनडीसी, ये हर किसी को मौका दे रहे हैं। यानी प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर ऑल, प्रोग्रेस फॉर ऑल।
Scheduled from September 25th to 29th, the mega event will present Uttar Pradesh's industrial, agricultural, cultural and innovation strengths on a global stage. Russia is the partner country this year with 30 companies showcasing their products and services. More than just a platform for trade and investment, UP International Trade Show aims to create a future-ready ecosystem for youth, entrepreneurs and international delegates while celebrating the state's diverse identity through the confluence of craft, culture and cuisine. aimed at showcasing India's strengths in the food processing sector, food sustainability and the production of nutritious and organic food. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the World Food India 2025 at around 6:15 p.m. Indian Standard Time at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. The four-day event will have multiple thematic sessions covering a wide range of topics, including India as a global food processing hub, sustainability and net zero in food processing frontiers, India's pet food industry, processed foods for nutrition and health, plant-based foods, nutraceuticals, specialty foods, among others. It will feature 14 pavilions, each dedicated to specific themes, and will attract around 100,000 visitors. It will also showcase 21 exhibiting countries along with 150 international participants. At World Food India, credit-linked support of over 770 crore rupees will be provided to around 26,000 beneficiaries for micro projects in food processing sector worth over 2,510 crore rupees under Pradhan Mantri Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprising Scheme. In 2014, a bold vision was set into motion, Make in India, a slogan that evolved into one of the most transformative economic movements in the country's history. 11 years later, it has become a blueprint for industrial resurgence, national pride and global ambition. A movement that's not just building factories, but building futures. More in our next report.
The Make in India initiative, launched in 2014, has been a cornerstone of India's push towards Atmanirbharta, or self-reliance. What started as a slogan became a full-spectrum strategy that's reshaped India's industrial landscape. While industry played its part, the government's massive capex has given industry the confidence to also invest big in India.
The bullet train is coming up between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, the precursor to many more bullet trains and high-speed rails coming up in the country. DFC is operational, both the northern one and the western one. Precursor to hopefully more DFCs coming up in other regions. It's a race to make India a $32 trillion economy.
India attracted $667.4 billion in FDI from 2014 to 2024, a 119% increase over the previous decade. Manufacturing FDI alone surged 69%, reaching $165.1 billion, energizing sectors like electronics, automotive and textiles.
आज आपने कई बार टेलीकॉम टावर के ऊपर बड़े-बड़े रेडियो, व्हाइट कलर के जो बड़े से रेडियो नहीं होते लंबे से इस तरह से, बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स मशीन है. 40 कंट्रीज को एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है. यूरोप जैसे, अमेरिका जैसे समृद्ध देशों को भारत में बने हुए टेलीकॉम इक्विपमेंट आज एक्सपोर्ट हो रहे हैं.
Make in India isn't just about factories. It's about empowering youth, reviving neglected regions and reclaiming India's industrial legacy. From chips to ships, the Prime Minister's vision is laying the groundwork for a future where India plays a leading role in global supply chains. It is Make in India, make for the world.
Countries like Australia and India that have complementary interests, because Australia is not going to be a massive producer of batteries. However, we have aspirations to be a massive producer of lithium carbonate and lithium hydroxide, which can come to India, and if India develops its cathode active material processing, then India can value add and we can sort of meet in the middle on that supply chain and go very quickly to global scale.
Launched in 2020, PLI schemes spurred 1.3 lakh crore rupees in investment, 10.9 lakh crore rupees in output, and over 8.5 lakh jobs. Semicon India is building a full-stack chip ecosystem. PM Modi's Swadeshi push and GST reforms boosted demand for Indian goods, tying self-reliance to national pride. Make in India didn't just make goods, it made good India's potential. Bureau Report, DD India.
President Draupadi Murmu has embarked on a spiritual journey to Vrindavan in the North Indian state of Uttar Pradesh on Thursday, travelling by a special train from Delhi's Safdarjung railway station for a day-long visit focused on devotion and cultural heritage. During her visit, the President performed darshan and puja at several revered sites, including the Sri Banke Bihari Temple, the Nidhivan and Kubja Krishan Mandir. President Murmu will also visit Sudama Kuti in Vrindavan later in the day. President Murmu will proceed to Mathura thereafter, where she will perform darshan and puja at the Shri Krishna Janmasthan, a key pilgrimage site associated with Lord Krishna's birthplace. This marks one of the several regional engagements by the President this year, highlighting her emphasis on cultural and religious outreach across the country. India has carried out the successful launch of intermediate-range Agni Prime missile from a rail-based mobile launcher system. The next-generation missile is designed to cover a range of up to 2,000 kilometers and is equipped with various advanced features. The first-of-its-kind launch carried out from specialty-designed rail-based mobile launcher has the capability to move on rail network without any preconditions, that allows users to have a cross-country mobility and launch within a short reaction time with reduced visibility. Defence Minister congratulated the DRDO, Defence Research and Development Organization, Strategic Forces Command and the Armed Forces on the successful test. He said that this successful flight test has put India in the group of select nations having capabilities that have developed canisterized launch system from on-the-move rail network. Notably, the road mobile Agni P has already been inducted into the services after a series of successful flight trials. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Wednesday hosted the Forum for Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation Foreign Ministers meeting in New York. He noted that the 12-point action plan announced by Prime Minister Modi at the summit is progressing well. The plan was announced in a range of areas, including healthcare, renewable energy and cybersecurity, as Prime Minister had announced that India is ready to share its capabilities with the region without any hesitation. During the event, Jaishankar acknowledged that India and Pacific Island countries are development partners and their agenda is people-centric and focused on health, technology, capacity building and training. On the sidelines of the Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation Foreign Ministers meeting, Jaishankar met Prime Minister of Tonga, Palau Minister of State and Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, Marshall Islands, Cyprus and Mexico's counterparts. The leaders agreed to build on recent exchanges and create a fresh roadmap for strengthening bilateral ties. India and Australia signed the Mutual Recognition Arrangement for Organic Products, simplifying the compliance requirements and creating new opportunities for the farmers and exporters. Products under the MRA include unprocessed plant products, excluding seaweed, aquatic plants and greenhouse crops, and processed foods composed of one or more ingredients of plant origin. India's organic exports to Australia reached $8.96 million in fiscal year 2024-25, with a total export volume of 2,781.58 metric tons, led by psyllium husk, coconut milk and rice. The government is committed to make India as the organic food basket of the world, and the MRA is a major step in that direction. It is expected to boost India's organic exports further by reducing barriers, ensuring certification equivalence and supporting more organic products and producers. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Dr. L. Murugan is currently on an official visit to South Korea as part of a ministerial delegation. During the visit, after a series of meetings with CEOs and senior officials from the media and entertainment industry, Dr. L. Murugan participated in a special community engagement program at the Indian Embassy in Seoul. The event witnessed participation of a large number of Indian students and professionals who raised various issues before the minister and shared how, even while residing thousands of miles away, they can contribute to India's progress. The program stood as a strong reflection of the deep connect of the Indian diaspora, who continue to strengthen cultural and economic linkages between India and Korea. Dr. L. Murugan met Chang-Eun Kim, CEO Crofton in Seoul, to explore deeper industrial ties in gaming and e-sports. Kim expressed keen interest in India's vibrant creative ecosystem and the opportunities presented by its young demographic and fast-growing digital market.
크래프톤은 폭지 BGMI 이외에
Krafton, of course, has BGMI, but also we have other games that are going to be launched in India and outside of the gaming industry. We're planning to invest more of our resources into the market.
와 협력하길 바라고 있습니다.
You're watching DD India Live, still to come on the show. Trump demands probe into triple sabotage after escalator, teleprompter and sound failures at the UN speech. World's most powerful tropical cyclone this year, Typhoon Raasa, bears down southern China. And Australia's Liam Henderson becomes the most expensive buy at the mini auction of Hockey India League 2026.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Reaffirming their resolve to solve the growing tension between the two conflicting nations, Russia and Ukraine, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov met US Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. The top Russian diplomat, Lavrov, said that Kiev and European countries were to blame for prolonging the conflict in Ukraine. He stressed the unacceptability of the schemes promoted by Kiev and some European capitals aimed at prolonging the conflict. Rubio, on the other hand, reiterated President Trump's call for the killing to stop and the need for Moscow to take meaningful steps towards a durable resolution of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake called on world leaders to act together against conflict, poverty, corruption and drugs. Sri Lankan President made the appeal during his first address to the 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York. The President voiced alarm over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. He demanded an immediate ceasefire, free flow of aid and the release of hostages. President Dissanayake said poverty and inequality are global catastrophes that must be urgently addressed. He urged stronger action against drug traffickers and more rehabilitation centers. He also noted that Sri Lanka has already embarked on a fight against corruption. The president arrived in the United States on Tuesday to participate in the 80th session of the UNGA. During his visit, he met with United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, and is also expected to hold bilateral meetings with UN Secretary General and several world leaders. US President Donald Trump demanded an investigation into what he called triple sabotage after an escalator, his teleprompter and sound system malfunctioned as he addressed the United Nations. In a long, angry social media post, Trump described the string of mishaps as very sinister, called for people to be arrested and said that the Secret Service was also probing. Trump also demanded an immediate investigation. Footage showed the President and First Lady, Melania Trump, getting on the escalator at the UN headquarters on Tuesday before it stopped with a lurch, forcing them to walk up. Then, as he began his speech, he noted his teleprompter was not working. He spent much of the rest of the speech bashing the world body. Trump then complained that his teleprompter for his speech was stone cold dark for the first 15 minutes and that the sound in the UN auditorium was completely off. Although the UN has said that the events that happened while Trump was at its headquarters in New York on Tuesday were accidental and partly blamed them on White House staff. On to weather updates now. Typhoon Raasa, the world's most powerful tropical cyclone this year, struck the southern Chinese city of UNGA on Wednesday after killing 17 people in Taiwan and lashing Hong Kong with ferocious winds and heavy rains. The typhoon was tracking towards Maoming, one of China's biggest oil refining cities in Guangdong province. Weather experts say that more powerful typhoons are likely to hit southern China due to climate change after a summer of record-breaking rainfall. Hong Kong resumed flights out of its international airport on Thursday after a 36-hour suspension, reopening businesses. Cleanup efforts were also underway in Taiwan's Guangfu after Super Typhoon Raghasa's outer bands brought heavy rain to Hualien County. On to some business news now. The US dollar was steady as traders weighed the prospect of a measured Fed easing cycle following a cautious note from policymakers at the US Central Bank while awaiting economic data that may outline the impact of tariffs and the outlook for rates. Traders have priced in 43 basis points of rate cuts in the remaining two meetings this year, although comments from officials, including Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, indicate that a lot will depend on the upcoming economic data. The lack of clarity and consensus on future easing has meant traders are no longer fully pricing in a cut next month. The dollar has edged higher since the Fed lowered interest rates last week, as expected. The dollar index, which measures the US currency against 6 other units, eased a touch to 97.744, but hovered near its highest level since September 11th. It touched overnight. On to some sporting action now. India has stormed into the Asia Cup final in style with a convincing win over Bangladesh. The men in blue restricted Bangladesh to 127 runs while defending a target of 168 and now lock horns for the final showdown on September 28th. The final contender against India is yet to be decided as the two-horse race for the finals remains open between Pakistan and Bangladesh. The mini auction of Hockey India League 2026 concluded successfully in a closed-door session in New Delhi that saw plenty of action, surprises and some record-breaking signings. Over 100 men players were auctioned, with franchises making bold and strategic moves to secure talent for the upcoming season. The biggest buy of the day was Australia's Liam Henderson, who went to Vedanta Kalinga Lancers for a massive 42 lakh rupees, making him the most expensive buy. This year marks the 10th Ayurveda Day, celebrating across the world to promote India's ancient system of holistic medicine. In Paris, the Indian Embassy organized special sessions focusing on how Ayurveda can help achieve a healthier lifestyle and overall well-being. The celebration not only highlighted Ayurveda's growing global recognition, but also strengthened cultural ties between India and France through the exchange of knowledge and wellness practices. Rohini Gosavi reports.
As we know, like yoga, Indian ancient science, Ayurveda is gaining tremendous interest worldwide. On the occasion of Ayurveda Day, Indian Embassy here in Paris has organized special sessions with experts from India to promote and share Ayurvedic expertise and Ayurvedic experience here in Paris. The event was attended by a wonderful mix of people, Ayurveda practitioners, members of Indian community, French wellness enthusiasts, and Indian diplomats. Experts shared insights on how simple habits like eating fresh, using natural herbs, and following Ayurvedic practices can improve daily health and overall well-being. A special highlight was Dr. Sudhendra Uppur, who guided attendees through Ayurveda practices and answered their questions, making the session both informative and interactive.
So Ayurveda, I believe for me, is about lifestyle. There is no Ayurveda if you don't have discipline. So if you feel I can get into some discipline, I can fix up my waking time, I can control my food, I can control my alcohol, I can do exercise regularly, only then come to this.
It's gaining importance. I have a few clients now, and there is really a change in status of Ayurveda in France now, especially as very recently, I think this year, the terminology was adapted at the level of the Senate, and today we can officially put on our business cards and on our social media that we are practitioners of Indian traditional medicine.
There was also a special Ayurvedic treatment session including Nadi Parikshan, a traditional pulse diagnosis system, giving participants a chance to experience Ayurveda's healing approach firsthand.
It was very knowledgeable, and also it was his talk on Ayurveda and the few insights he gave us about the pepper and ginger and the long pepper drink, that to have that, and he gave us a lot of cleared our doubts, and this gives me a incentive and a lot of encouragement to go deeper into Ayurveda.
Is so fantastic because of the many concepts it has, especially the holisticity. One is not only a body, one is not only a mind, one is not only a soul, it's all together. And it was all together that was suffering. So I had to understand the root cause of my suffering, both from my soul, both from my mind, both from my body, and it helped me in all those ways.
French people shared how Ayurveda inspired them to live healthier and more balanced life. For some, it was their first introduction to these traditions. For others, it was a way to reconnect with India's heritage. Ayurveda reminds us to slow down, eat right, and live in harmony with nature. People of France and India has experienced same wisdom here in Paris today. This is Rohini Gosav in Paris for DD India.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on DD India Live on our different social media handles. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.